Alright, hi everyone, my name is Teresa Nguyen. I'm going to be doing my personality project on Erikson and his identity theory. Here I have a picture of him for you all. He was born in 1902 in Germany and then he passed away in 1994 in America, actually. I have a quote here from him. It says, "In the social jungle of human existence, there is no feeling of being alive without a sense of identity." And I chose this quote because I truly think it's beautiful if you think about it, and it perfectly matches his identity theory in that every day you are alive, you should be striving to finding out who you are and developing that personality within you. So I have a few slides on his biography. His mother was actually Danish and she gave birth to Erikson out of wedlock in Germany. He didn't know who his biological father was because he abandoned the family when she was giving birth to him. Through that, he suffered an identity crisis because he was unsure of his last name, so for a while his last name was actually Hamburger. And furthermore, in school, Erikson was made fun of for his Aryan features by his Jewish peers. And by Aryan features, I mean the typical blonde hair and blue eyes. So at a young age, he had these identity crises that further pushed him into his psychological or his psychoanalysis field in the future. Here I have a picture of Anna Freud. She is actually the daughter of Sigmund Freud. For several years, she analyzed Erikson at a school in Vienna. Her influence made him aware of the importance of social influences on personality and pushed him to focus on child development. I think that's pretty rad, since this is where his origins of psychoanalysis began, and it's from a descendant of Freud. This is my last slide on Erikson's biography. In 1930, he married Joan Surzin, who became his intellectual partner and editor, who actually helped to develop his famous psychosocial development theory. They had a son, and unfortunately, due to World War II and the Nazis, they moved to the United States of America. Here in America, Erikson worked at Yale's Institute of Human Relations and also as a professor at Yale School of Medicine. Even more so, he studied Sioux and Yurok children, so he focused on Native Americans for a little bit. Some of his major contributions included his concept of identity crisis in adolescence, and this is due especially to his own personal experiences. Furthermore, he contributed his psychosocial development throughout a lifespan in which personality develops, and he also recognized that cultural, social, and historical influences impact personality in an individual. This is a chart with every single stage of Erikson's psychosocial development. So there are 8 of them, each with their own name for their stage, each with their own age and time period. The focuses of what they are learning and the basic strength that comes about as an individual goes through each stage. Now, if it was a little hard to remember those, I made a Disney playlist. So with the last application assignment on Erikson, I made a playlist, or all the songs I had were basically all Disney, and so I took that playlist that I had and changed the songs that weren't Disney and made it all into Disney songs. So for the first stage, I have You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story, and I think this embodies the trust versus mistrust stage, because when you have that friend, you can always count on them, you can always trust them. Next, for my second stage, I have Let It Go from Disney's movie Frozen, and this is about autonomy versus doubt and shame. So in this movie, we see that Elsa sings about how she is releasing herself and she's becoming more of her own person. Next, for the third stage, I chose the song I Can Go the Distance from Hercules. This stage is known as Initiative versus Guilt, so our protagonist, Hercules, is taking on that initiative, and through that he's learning purpose as his basic strength, where he chooses to go out and find his origin and his life story. Next, for the fourth stage, I have I'll Make a Man Out of You from one of my favorite movies, actually, Mulan. This stage focuses on industriousness versus inferiority, and with Mulan doing her best to show her strength and how hard she's willing to work, shows that she is successfully going through this stage. For the fifth stage, I also have a song from Mulan. It's called Reflection, and she struggles to figure out who she is. Well, I think that she has an idea of who she is. She just has trouble showing that to her family and those around her. This focuses on her solidifying her identity, and I think it really embodies that stage. For the sixth stage, I have the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King. This will be the focus of the stage regarding intimacy versus isolation, and obviously, with intimacy in the stage, love is what comes about, and I think that the title says it all. Next, for the seventh stage, I chose the song Where You Are by Moana. If you actually watch the music video from the movie, the chief of the tribe is showing Moana around the town and what what the future holds for her and for their community. And what that means is that she has to uphold so many duties, and she has things that she needs to do in order to take care of the future generation. And that goes perfectly well with the stage of generativity versus stagnation, where she develops care, especially for her community and her family. The last and final stage, I couldn't really find a song that was about looking back on in life, but I think I just chose the circle of life because you're at your last and final stage, and when you look back, you just notice how life works and you gain that wisdom and basically, I want to say, overcome life. It's a really beautiful thing. So, how does Erikson view women? So, in general, Erikson actually doesn't have a female specific theory for his psychosocial development theory, but from the research I did, I found out that he believes that women's role in society is to simply bear children, and that who they are is defined by the person they are married to, who their children are, and the lifestyle that they live. So I want to say he's somewhat sexist, but I don't want to make any assumptions on Erikson right now. Religion. How does Erikson view religion? So basically, with all the basic strains that come about in his theory, such as hope, will, purpose, competence, fidelity, love, care, and wisdom. These are all basic strains that show that he has a positive view on religion, actually, because he finds that these virtues help individuals go through the challenges that they have to face in life. His personality development. Basically, everything I explained with my playlist and the giant chart. So he believes that personality develops throughout one's lifespan in 8 different stages in 8 different time periods. Infancy. So how is infancy important to Erikson? It's important because it establishes that initial relationship with the world through his oral sensory, such as the baby's mouth. During this stage, infants develop trust that sets a dimension of their personality. This trust may be altered in the future and taken back, but it develops that initial relationship with the world. changes in personality. This is a different background from everything else because it's a change. Compared to the green leaves, I've got autumn leaves. So, does Erikson believe that personality can change? From his theory that personality develops through a lifetime, I would conclude that yes, he does think personality can change, but for like the most part, everyone has that same personality. It just has different alterations that mold them into the person they are today. Alright, so what? Why is he important? Why is he interesting? Why are his theories and ideas novel? He inspired the field of lifespan personality development. Prior to that, many of the theorists believed that development stops at a certain age, but he believes that personality develops throughout an entire lifespan, from the moment you are born to the day that you die, or at least reach the age of 55. In addition, he focuses on social interaction and relationships because he believes they play a role in the growth of personality. Okay, so I played around with this slide. What would Erikson say about me? So, to quote what he would say about me, I said, "Oh, Teresa, it looks like you're still trying to figure out how to function as an adult. No worries, you're still young. 19 is still pretty early in the stage of young adulthood. How's college, though?" "Good. I'm glad you're not as dependent on your parents anymore. Do you have a boyfriend?" "No?" "Well, don't let them turn you away from the person you have become. Love is a very powerful thing, so find that person you want to share your identity with." And so basically, I turned my thoughts and just made it into a way that someone would say it to me. So I'm still young. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. Because I'm 19, I've barely began to adult. Recently, I've gotten out of a relationship with my ex-boyfriend, and I think that love is something I can't really afford right now, so I'm just going to focus on myself and take my time on finding that one person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So I chose to compare Erik Erikson with Sigmund Freud. They have very similar developmental theories. For Erikson, it's psychosocial versus Freud's psychosexual development theory. For Erikson, he believed that the factors that impact development are social, environmental, as opposed to Freud, who believes that the basic needs and biological aspects are what factor into one's personality. For Erikson, his personality theory ends at age 55, while Sigmund Freud's theory ends at age 12. So those are some key differences between the two theorists. Similarities that I found between their two ideas are that the stages of life are separated at very similar ages, or at least in childhood, they're separated into similar time periods and ages. And in addition, they also have similar qualities, but at the same time, they basically understand that childhood is very important in personality development. Okay, so this is going to be a long one. I'll just summarize it. So I chose Erik Erikson as my theorist simply because where I'm at in my life right now, everything's changing. I started exercising more. I started not really eating healthy, but I started sleeping better. I've just been happier in the way that I'm living my lifestyle. And this is because I want to grow as a person, and that's what his theory is all about, growing as a person and developing throughout a lifespan. So I don't need to rush into anything, but growth is just the goal that I need to do. The last part I focused on was that even though I agree that there are many factors that influence personality, I personally find that those around me make a huge impact on who I am, which is something that Erikson focused on. So my family, my friends, my coworkers, my managers, my professors, everyone around me is helping. That is the end of my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for tuning in.